Regardless of how much time and money you spend on finding the right words that will represent your company and attract new customers, it is the brand identity of the business that will resonate with people the most. This is why it is so important to have the right logo design, whether your company is a startup or a multinational corporation. A logo is more than just a bunch of colors, shapes, and letters. It is the company's calling card, capable of breaching cultural and language barriers. Just consider the logos and branding of huge brands such as Apple, McDonald's, or Coca-Cola. They are present all over the globe, and people know what they are, even if there isn't any text to go along with them. They know what the company aims to deliver, and what they are going to get if they decide to spend their money. As far as new businesses are concerned, having the right logo can make a crucial difference between success and failure. Considering all these, it is hardly a surprise that companies spend millions, or even billions of dollars on advertising, as well as tweaking and redesigning their logos. This is the reason we have put together a list of the 10 most expensive logo designs and rebrands ever paid by their respective companies. Symantec. According to reports, Symantec paid as much as $1.28 billion on the logo and branding they are currently sporting. However, the actual amount is not all that shocking once you have all the facts straight. One of the purchases made by Symantec is the acquisition of VeriSign. They did not just gain access to the company's ideas and resources, but also to the VeriSign logo, the famous checkmark, which they have skillfully incorporated into the Symantec logo. In case you are not familiar with it, it represents a tick for the authentication of security certificates for websites, which is crucial if you want people to trust your online shop or e-commerce website. Since the tick mark is associated with trustworthiness, Symantec wisely chooses to include it in their logo. British Petroleum. The second most expensive logo of all time was paid for by British Petroleum in 2000. How much did they pay for it? A whopping $210 million. They went with the design featuring shades of yellow and green, which was supposed to represent the company's dedication to being more green. However, what makes this British Petroleum logo even more expensive is the huge fiasco British Petroleum suffered. Yes, we are referring to one of the most devastating oil spills in history in the Gulf of Mexico. Needless to say, the British Petroleum logo is a far cry from what the company stands for. Even worse, it has become the butt of many jokes online, with numerous fake British Petroleum logos out there which symbolically morph into black oil spills. Since then, they have spent millions of dollars on damage control, and the original logo still stands. Accenture. Accenture paid as much as $100 million for their logo. It consists out of the word Accenture, written in lowercase, with an accent mark above it. The word itself is a portmanteau of the phrase accent of the future. Accenture was forced to change its name and adopt a new logo after leaving the Andersen Consulting Group and venturing on its own. However, the company known for outsourcing has caught some criticism when it comes to the Accenture logo, despite its price tag. Some claim that the simplified logo does not convey enough meaning. However, despite its streamlined look, the Accenture logo was chosen after 50 different options and designs were rejected. Nevertheless, Accenture is now a reputable company, and its logo is instantly recognizable in the industry. Posten Norge. The importance of having a good logo was not lost on the Norwegian Postal Service, which has shelled out $55 million for the logo they are currently using. Apart from the graphics, which are not your usual Norwegian design, it features the words Posten Norge, with the word Posten meaning post. Seems like a lot of money for something that is pretty straightforward, but you may also want to know that this state-owned company has the sole right to distribute and deliver letters that weigh less than 50 grams across the entire state of Norway. The new Posten Norge logo was introduced in 2008, and all of the post offices were rebranded. Even though the sum paid for the postal logo was astronomical, the following results showed that it was a sound investment. Australia and New Zealand Banking Group. Australia and New Zealand Banking Group, which is a joint venture company, paid $15 million for their logo design. The logo features letters A and Z, which create an impression of movement, along with the graphic element. Truth be told, the entire sum was not invested in just the logo design. It was the total amount of a much larger marketing campaign that started in 2010 and ended in 2012. Mind you, with ANZ being the biggest bank in New Zealand, and the third largest in Australia, they did not mind investing that sort of money on a marketing campaign. British Broadcasting Corporation. There are several variations of the current BBC logo, but one of the most common ones is the combination of white block letters against a dark background. For this, the BBC paid $1.8 million. However, they can be forgiven, given the fact that they hold a record for the time during which they have not changed their logo one bit. Finally, they gave in 1997, which is when the new BBC logo was introduced. Speaking of the record, the original BBC logo was in use between 1971 and 1988. In case the BBC decides to stick with their current logo, they will beat their previous record. Given that we are talking about a global corporation with an instantly recognizable brand logo, the sum they have paid for its redesign does not seem excessive, especially when compared to some of the other entries on this list. Pepsi. Although Pepsi's current logo is not all that different from their old one, they have ended up paying $1 million for it. The old iconic Pepsi logo was changed, and now features a different distribution of colors, with red being more prominent. Also, the entire logo is tilted at an angle, and more in tune with the current trend of flat design. According to others, the Pepsi logo change was an attempt to challenge Coca-Cola, which is still the most popular cola brand in the world. Pepsi is not doing too shabby, either, since they can spend $1 million on a slight alteration of the logo. There is still room for both, although Pepsi will continue with their attempts to increase their presence globally. London 2012 Olympics. Olympics are always a big deal, not just because of the scale of the event itself, but because of how much money goes into it, as well as how much money is earned. There is perhaps no better example of that than the London 2012 Olympics logo, which cost the Olympic Committee in London $625,000, making it the most expensive Olympics logo of all time. However, despite the sum, the London Olympics logo has been criticized heavily. While some felt that the logo was something that could have been drawn by anyone, others thought that its design featured no cultural insight or historical landmarks London is known for. City of Melbourne. London is not the only city that decided to spend $625,000 on its logo. Melbourne did the same, and they did not need an excuse such as the Olympics to do it. Designed by Lander Associated, the new Melbourne logo was introduced in 2009. With its sharp lines and multiple shades of blue and green, it is supposed to represent Melbourne's corporate power. It also looks like a stylish version of the letter M. It was met with positive reviews. Belfast City. Joining the list of cities that have spent big bucks on their new city logo is Belfast. The Belfast logo design was around $280,000, which is available in one of the several different colors, including lime, blue, fuchsia, maroon, and aqua. It can also be interpreted in two different ways, as a stylized letter B, or a heart. The name of the city is written on the inside of the logo. While not reflecting Belfast's long and turbulent history, it is still a welcome change from common Irish stereotypes. The idea was to make the city more attractive to tourists, as well as investors, and to emphasize the dynamic nature, and to move as far away as possible from the years during which it has gained its notorious reputation. Despite the title, a logo is an investment, not an expense. While an effective logo design is essential to the success of any company, it does not have to cost millions of dollars, as in the examples we have listed. For example, logos for Nike or Coca-Cola have not cost more than $35, which is incredible, given that they are two of the most recognizable brands in the entire world. Another example is Google, which has never paid a dime for their logos. Instead, they have had them created by their in-house designers. In the end, it is the creativity and the ability to reach the people that matter.